So I've had a much needed coffee in McDonald's. Yeah, sat in there for a further 3.5 hours editing this video that you're watching, and it's still not done. And again, I like pointing these bits out because it's the reality of me living out here. I try and do all of this whilst being in a tent, trying to find food, trying to find places to sleep, trying to keep clean, trying to be safe, trying to edit, trying to, like there's all these things going on. My life has suddenly become very busy, very chaotic, very exciting, very tiring, but in the right way. It's just like this constant ongoing thing that, although it completely tires me out, it's a nice kind of tired. Like I want to go to sleep tired, not I want to get away tired. Like, oh, I need a holiday. Not that tired. It's like I need to go to sleep. If I don't go to sleep soon, I'm just going to fall asleep walking. But I'm having fun, so I continue to walk and get more tired. It's just, the whole thing's just so silly. And I guess what I was trying to say there was, it's funny how I spent the previous 45 years or 35 years of working life, if you like, system working life, trying to get as much rest as possible so that I'm strong enough to carry on doing the job. Does that make sense? Sometimes I'm not sure if I explain things well, but it's sort of like I was always in a rush to get home after work, so I had a longer period of time to rest and recover, ready for the next day. But the rest and recovery period would almost be spent in dread of the next day. So you're not actually ever relaxing. You're just constantly in dread of the next day at work. Well, that's how it was for me anyway. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. I guess that's what I'm trying to say with that last clip, that now I kind of am more busy than I've ever been in my entire life, but I never feel like I need to get away and relax. This is so hard to explain. I never feel like I need to get away, like hide away, divert my attention into a film, into junk food, into sex, into drink, into smoking, into anything. I'm happy to stay with whatever the moment is providing me with, because each moment is a reminder that I'm on this journey, even the bad parts, like when I'm cold or wet or tired. And again, I always have to reiterate, in the actual moment when that's going on, it's one of those things, it doesn't feel nice, but it doesn't bog me down in life. That's a better way of saying it. It's not something like, if something used to happen to me at work that would sort of irritate me, I could carry that for days. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about there. You can carry it for days, weeks, months, years sometimes. But now, let's say I'm walking along here and my Bergen strap snaps, which could happen. It's happened to the bottom one. It's not something that I'm then like walking around all day, and the next day, oh, this is awful. The Bergen strap's gone, it's collapsed on me, and oh, how am I supposed to live like this now? It's bad enough as it is. It doesn't become that. It's just like, oh, the Bergen thing snapped. And that's all it is. The Bergen strap snapped, so I need to sort that out. And the going to sort that out is part of my new life that I love. So it's a working part of it. Have I done this justice, guys, explaining this? And all I'm trying to do is explain the difference between how my life once was and felt at work, if you like, and how it is now, and the difference in the hardships that I face. But also the way that I feel about those hardships is entirely different. And I'm saying this, I think, because a couple of you had said, where do I get the energy from to keep doing stuff? And it's like I said before, I don't carry the stress. I don't have the stress now that I used to once have. which was all, when I look back now, was all just made up stress, placing so much importance on things that just weren't that important. You know, overly making myself important. Oh my God, I've got 3 quotes to do. I've got to pick these materials up. My drill's broke. The van's got to go in for a service. Oh, I've got all these things going on. Just like, none of it was important. But the mind will kick in at that point, so it was important, because otherwise you don't pay the bills. That's what I'm talking about. This constant looping of like dramatisation of stuff. You know, the mind wants to sort of catastrophise and dramatise or victimise every single thing that was going on in my life. This constant commentary. Oh, I've got all these things to do and I ain't got money to do it, and then when they get fixed I'll have to work even harder to pay for those, so that when they break again I can go and then put the van back in for a service. And you just loop and loop and loop. But all of it was because it gave me a sense of like purpose, and also a sense of an excuse as to why I wasn't succeeding in anything, because all these things kept happening to me. They all kept happening to me, and if it weren't for all them things, I would be a super success. No, I weren't a success in anything that I was doing in any other job before, simply because my heart was never in it. Why would I be anything? Why would I be good at anything my heart is not in? My heart is in this new way of life, so no matter how much the world wants to throw at me, I take it all on with gratitude and love, and with an open enough mind to sort of accept it all as a lesson, to just keep guiding me on this journey. And that's beautiful. That's why I have energy, because I'm not carrying the stupid, ridiculous stress that I once was, which was all made up anyway. For me, that's how it was for me. That's how my life was. Now, I might have left bits out of that, and I could go a lot deeper with that, and God knows, when you meet me in person I can do this a lot better. There's a lot of you watching that kind of know that I can get right into the nitty gritty of stuff, guys. But when I'm walking around, I'm kind of constantly aware that there's cars coming around. I'm carrying this thing, the shoulder aches, you know, all sorts of manner of things. So, but I hope I know it does give you food for thought. You tell me in the comments, so that's wonderful. And it's always just my takes on how my life works for me, how I've made it work for myself, and trying to answer questions without making myself the hero from it. You know, like, how do you get all that energy, Tobe? Well, you know, you just got to get on with it, and you just got to be, you know, you just got to man up and get on with it. No, I can't stand the phrase "man up" for a start. But no, it's not that. I like to give an in-depth answer, the reality answer, the truthful answer. You know, because I believe that, well, it's going to help a lot more than lying about it to get my dopamine fix and my ego rubbed. You know, the whole reason I speak like this now is because the ego's vanishing. Someone said to me a little while ago, I said, "Oh, you have got a bit of ego, Tobe, that's why you do YouTube." I went, "No, I do YouTube because the ego's gone. If I had the ego, I wouldn't want to fail, I wouldn't want to be laughed at, I wouldn't want to be ridiculed, I wouldn't want to be the thick child that I was always known as. I wouldn't want to be the idiot. I'd want to maintain my level of status as the nutcase, as the drinker, as the dancer, as the funny guy." See what I mean? That's ego. Losing the ego enables me to speak like this to you guys. And the ego is only conditioning. It's not even ours, it doesn't even belong to us. It's conditioning that comes in from everything that everyone else says. All music, lyrics, and things that we've read, conversations we've overheard, schooling, parents, teachers, absolutely everything. Millions and millions of things. It all comes in and we form an act to suit that particular thing that we might have heard. You know, and that act is the ego. That's what we call the ego. That's what the commentary is. That's what guides us through life. Oh, I mustn't do that. Mustn't do this. You know, oh, I'm 30. Hi, darling. Oh, I'm 35. I should have a baby by now. And all this nonsense it's all stuff that we've heard, and we've taken it on board as though it's like gospel. It's not. They're just beliefs. They're just beliefs normally from other people that have heard it from someone else saying it through beliefs. But they're not facts, they're just beliefs. Let go of the beliefs and, well, there you are. There you are. You know, that's... You know, I think we know I get a bit embarrassed when I start talking like that, but it's a nice embarrassment, you know. It's kind of, I hope I'm doing it justice what I'm explaining. It's a topic that I can explain very well, you know, in person, and there's a whole lot for it. There's a whole lot more to it. I could talk for hours and hours and hours about it and just unravel, just try and explain how I completely unravelled my own mind, how I unravelled its workings. And I did all that before I come out on the road. You know, and now I've been out on the road, it's just expanded more and more and more. Why wouldn't it? It's evolution. You expand into the unknown, you grow in the unknown and the unfamiliar. You can't grow anywhere else. You can't grow in the familiar, you know what's there. There can't be any growth. Only in unfamiliar, in the expansion, will you find growth. Anyway, that got very deep, didn't it? I can't just answer a simple question. Why have you got so much energy, Tobe? But that's why you lot are here, I guess. Anyway, I love you all because you all tolerate me and I love it. So I'll speak to you in a bit, guys. So that's that little tent part done through the daytime. Had a nice little rest. I say rest, I edited a video. So we just keep going on. But now it's about 5 o'clock in the evening and I've got to find somewhere to sleep. It's just so funny. It just never stops. Like, it just never stops. But let me spin you round and there's the sea. And leave no trace. So I'm going to walk back into Cromer. I was kind of the other side of Cromer and I walked back up this big hill. And then obviously pitched up there. So I've eaten, I'm fed and all that sort of stuff. The video's done, so it's nice to now come down here and see the sea again. And we just, hello. And we just keep on marching on. And there was something else I was going to say. It wasn't important, but probably just a bit more of my normal waffle. Oh, that's it. Yeah, we're finding somewhere to sleep. So, fingers crossed we find somewhere nice and easy. Okay, bye-bye. So, I think I might have found a potential spot. Hold up a sec, guys. Sorry. Sometimes I don't know the screen needs clearing until I start recording. But I'm just going to watch these youngsters as they walk past the place and just see where their eyes go. Stuff like that. And then I'll show you. It's basically that little bush there. This is so funny. I always feel like I'm doing some covert mission. But you got to be careful. I kind of just observe people as they walk past, if they look over there, or if it's a spot where dogs run in and out of, you know. It'd be quite nice because it's on the cliff top, but it's like a walkway that goes. It's like a walkway that goes along, well, as you can tell. So, yeah, I think I just put dog poo on my calf. That's lovely. But, so there, in now. Now, I think if you were really looking, you would see it, especially as my tent's got the light grey front. But I'm starting to quite enjoy this sort of. Someone said in the comments, they said it's they love watching me do stealth camping, and I thought, oh, I like that name, stealth camping. I quite enjoy finding little random spots like this, and then checking them out. It makes it a little bit of fun. So that's where we are. Cromer, still in Cromer. And it's in there. It's quite thick. It's quite dense. But I did see a couple of beer bottles in there as well. So there's no one coming. So let's zip over here. I feel like I'm something out of Dad's army. Some covert mission to get your head down for the night. And come in here. And then through here. No, that's better. And I'm thinking of going just there. There's Bergen. Yeah. And you got that there. So from when you look from inside out, you can see clearly that you know, you can see people walking past. But I stood in here for about 10 minutes, and quite a few people walk past, and they don't look over here. So I think I'm going to set up there. I think it'll be quite interesting. I'll set it up quickly, then I can have a little scout around, a little walk around, see if I can see it. But it's like I always say, people aren't looking for that. You know, they're not going for, you know, you don't say to your missus, hey, sweetheart, should we go out for a quick dog walk and see if we can see any tents in the bushes? No one's doing that, you know, like, I don't know, maybe it's the sort of thing I would do. I'm joking, it's not. Well, it could be, but, you know, anyway. But yeah, and it backs onto these big woods. I was just walking all around in there. This is great big woods to see if I could see anything, but it's all like this and like that, and which is a shame, because that would be nice. But this is quite nice as well, quite sheltered. So yeah, I'm going to set this up, I think. I'm not going to set the tripod up and show it. I don't think you need to see me setting it up, so I need to be quiet with this one. As I see people coming past, I'll stop what I'm doing. So anyway, it's good fun, and yeah, okay, I'm quite happy as well, because it's only about 8 o'clock. So anyway, let me get on with this. Toad, stop it. Okay, about 10 minutes later, it's set up. It stands up like a sore thumb. Okay, well it's only that front part, which is why I faced it that way. Plus I always like my backside, you know, the back of that, to be like in the bushes. I like my backside in the bushes. Channel's getting really out of hand, guys. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, because then I can hear someone coming round here, you know. To get to that, they've got to crunch all these things, and I'm always kind of one eye open when I'm asleep anyway. But now I've got to walk out of here looking like a complete weirdo if someone's there, which there is. Look, pretend I'm doing my fly up. Thankfully, she didn't look in the slightest. It's always a little bit embarrassing that, you know, you're walking out of the weirdest places, so I just have to pretend I've done, you know, like just done my fly up to go like I've gone for a wee. But anyway, right, let's do the fun part. So that's where I am, directly where my finger is in that bush. There's a building there, and this way. In fact, I do it like that because otherwise it looks obvious if I'm filming that bush if someone sees me. So just make out the back of it. The way I act, like it's just, I get so embarrassed with myself, but I can't help it because I go to, like it's like being a big child. Can you see it? It is, I go like a big child. I don't know what happens because, well, we're just having fun. Just having fun out here with it. You know, you don't want to get caught. What's going to happen if you get caught? Can you move on? I couldn't care less, guys, about doing that. You know, I'm not that precious that I wouldn't be able to pack down and bugger off and walk another 20 miles if I wanted to. So, you know, but I guess it's just that little bit of embarrassment someone catches you setting up a tent in the bushes. When you say it like that, it's so bad. Got my little mate with me. My new mascot. Say hello, mate. Don't be shy. Been sat here for about 10 minutes. Right, I have got 3% battery left. This could conk out any second now, but I wanted to film this little bit coming up here, so I'm going to stop it again because it's the wrong bit. Right, this is the bit. There's no one here, so I've been gone for about 45 minutes. So let's see what happens. No one can see me. There she is, unblemished, unspoilt, and ready for a big sleep. Okay, so I guess I'll try the outside shot. See if we can pick any light up. It's proper dark. I don't think, like, there's the sky, so at least we can see that. No. It's really quiet. Oh, you can see a little bit there. What's that? That's the bit where I walk in. Isn't that beautiful? Right, I'm going back in. And let me do this up. God, that don't make some noise. There we go. Right. I don't like to stand out there too long because you get all the insects from the trees coming with it. It's not very pleasant. But yeah, it's all good in here. It's nice, it's quiet. It's a nice mild evening tonight as well, so it makes it nice. And it's very dark in the tent, so should normally means a nice sleep. Anyway, right, I'll see you in the morning, guys. Night night. Holy shit, it's literally outside the tent. It's kind of creepy. Good morning. So that turned out to be a lovely sleep, and I was right, it was so peaceful here last night. It's about 8 AM now as well. I woke up at about 7ish. Well, I woke up through the night, that often happens. But loads of dreams, loads of, yeah, just a very pleasant night, and much needed after the night before, you know, when all the cars were turning up and stuff. So anyway, let's give you a spin round. And let's see. Oh my God, what's going on in the world? God, that was hard to get up. There you go. So, yeah, it's a good choice, this one. This one was a good choice. Right, I'm going to get changed, going to Cromer because I really want to get moving today. So another little camp done underneath this lovely little tree in Cromer. Let me take you out with me. Leave no trace. Let me take... Grey day. The grey sky. Beautiful. Lovely colour cloud. Anyway, let's go into Cromer, get a coffee, have a little walk around Cromer, do some filming, maybe talk to one or two people. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, but first things first, coffee time. And it is Monday the 4th of August. It's about 9 AM as well, here in lovely Cromer. The jewel of the Norfolk coast. Part of the Norfolk coastal route, which is actually a really nice route that runs all the way along, obviously, the coast. But it's just very picturesque. And it's not the hilliest either, so for anyone who's sort of like maybe perhaps not the fittest or doubting themselves a little bit, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still, you know, any of these sort of hikes are hard work. But it's not the hilliest, and it's quite a nice, easy going course. Plenty of like stuff like this, pathways and that stuff. So it's a lovely little town, this. You do get a nice vibe when you're here. It might be because it's kind of during season. Cromer's a seasonal town. Obviously, it's by the coast. So loads of the time of the year, through the summertime, obviously it's really packed. There's loads of business and the town's thriving kind of as it is now. Gorgeous church. Church? Probably something else, a parish. But it's really windy though. I hope you can hear me. But yeah, so it's a seasonal town. So obviously through the summer it's buzzing and like it is now. But then through the winter, apparently it's a real ghost town. So I might try and come back in the winter just to have a look. But it's a real ghost town. It's beautiful flowers. Yeah, like there's no one here, and lots of the shops they close down for the winter months. And I can imagine that actually with the snow coming. It's me getting all broke. You know, my imagination starts going wild with it of what it's like, the mist descending on the town. You know, there's no one here. A bit of tumbleweed blows across the road or something. Okay, my imagination just gets stupid. But yeah, maybe it's worth coming back for a little visit. But I'm going to go in here and have a look at this beautiful chapel, church, cathedral. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's a fascinating building. And this is the really cool thing. So those of you that saw my Salisbury Cathedral meltdown, this place has also got peregrines as well. And I could hear them yesterday as I was walking around. I was thinking, I'm sure that's a peregrine sound. Sounds like what I heard at Salisbury Cathedral. So I'm going to go in there. And for those of you that don't know, a peregrine, its other meaning, is wanderer. So I think that's so cool, because I nearly called this channel when I very first started it, The Wanderer. But here you go. Anyway, let's go. Let me turn you around. It doesn't matter how many I go in. I think there's such incredible buildings. They're all with these high ceilings and stuff. You know, the great big pillars and stuff. It just doesn't cease to sort of stop me in just pure wonderment of the craftsmanship that's gone on in these. The design, the effort, I don't know, just the collectiveness of coming together and building these magnificent things. And of course, the horns. And for those of you that don't know, when I was in my video, when I'm in Truro and I go in the cathedral there, and that was when I first started to really like going in these places and having a look around. I didn't know what those things were called. I can't remember now what I said in the video, but I remember making a bit of a wally of myself saying the blowy things or whatever it was. But anyway, but look at these windows, look. But unlike a lot of the other ones that I've gone in, this one's just like one big room, whereas a lot of the others you can kind of walk around and they've got like different corridors that are going on. Kind of makes it easy for filming. But yeah, and like I always say, whether you're religious or not, it's it's irrelevant when you come into these places. There's something about them that's just so good, the way they are, peaceful, quiet. And sometimes I do sit in these for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. There was one in the Lake District. I sat in, well, probably way past. I was probably welcome. It was late, very late at night. Really peaceful. Anyway, let's go and have a little look around the town. Lovely cathedral. Let me take you out with me. Hello. And apparently there's a storm coming today. A few of the locals have said to me to try and maybe stick in Cromer today, because there's a storm due to heavy 80-mile-an-hour winds and stuff. Actually, saying that, I can just feel the first droplets coming in as well. So maybe I won't get as much filming done here today as I was hoping. And I know the guys, I appreciate it, have told me to stick around and stay here, but I kind of want to just get cracking. And if the storm does hit, then I'll just I'll find something to do. Okay, well, rain is stopping. It's starting to come down fairly heavy now, and I am not going to get myself wet. So I'm going to disappear into Costa's, have a coffee, edit a video, do some admin work, answer some of your comments and all that kind of stuff. So let's go in Costa. Well, unfortunately, the storm is closing in quite quickly, so I'm going to have to get some shots of Cromer and then start heading out. But I will have to come back another time and explore it, because I'd love to do it properly. So yeah, I mean, it's not cold or anything, but you can really feel the wind start picking up and the rain closing in. So I don't want to get soaked, and I don't really want to get caught out in a storm. So I'm going to quickly have a scoot around Cromer, get some little shots of it just to share on here, and then start heading out straight away and looking for somewhere to sleep for the night. So we'll see. It might be quite interesting with the storm coming in though. Do you know what's really funny? It's just always so stupid. There's a bit of me that likes it. You know, there's the bit of me that thinks, come on now, Tobes, be sensible, go and find somewhere safe to sleep. And then there's the other part of me that's like, oh, this is brilliant. I'm going to get soaked and it's going to be horrible. But there's always a bit of me that likes it. Anyway, right, let's spin you round. Is it worth spinning you round here? Well, why not? And just show you the best bits. Might as well show you all of it.
That's I've taken one off.
So it's quite an interesting little walk round on the pier here, and apparently, well, not apparently, it is. The pavilion there is the only show in the world where it's got an end of pier show. But yeah, apparently the end of pier, but the pavilion at the end of the pier is actually the only end of pier show. I keep struggling to say this because I want to say end of year, but it's the end of pier show. So i.e. it's a show that happens at the end of the pier, and it hosts a variety of acts like comedians and music and stuff like that. And I think my stepdad actually played in there, and I went to see him playing there I'm sure it was a New Year's Eve, years and years ago. I come to Cromer to see him. He's a good guitarist, and he was in a band he's been in a band his whole life. And so I come up to see him play, and I'm sure it was on there. I could be wrong though, because I had one too many sherbets. Anyway, right, let's get on, because I need to get out of here before this storm kicks in.